This is Eve Eliot, correspondent from the dark side once again, in front of this lacy backdrop. And I want to update you guys on the Howard and Heather situation. You may remember that a few video posts ago, they were giving each other their vows of love, and they had gone off on a trip. And indeed they did. And I'm not going to have time today to tell you what happened on that trip because I need to introduce the theme of why the trip went wrong by giving you the title of this piece, which is "The Truth Hurts in Defense of Lying." And if only Heather had realized this, it wouldn't have been such a disastrous trip that she took with Howard. So if I lose eye contact with you occasionally during this little talk, it's because I need to look at my script. This topic is very unsettling. So I just want to sum up a little bit about Heather and Howard before I talk about the more global topic of in defense of lying. So when Heather told something to Howard about the truth on their trip to Las Vegas, it did not have a very good effect, and that's for the next video. The awful truth is that the truth is often awful for the receiver of it. People in relationships are often so proud that they're completely honest. And all I can think of when I hear that from friends and clients is, really? Really? You're going to tell her that she looks fat in that dress? When she asks, when I listen to Rod Stewart singing "Wake Up Maggie," and he says the line, "The morning light when it's in your face really shows your age," I think to myself, if Maggie was awake, she would have killed him. And he would not have had to break up with her and live his life as a pool player. Anyway, this is the global truth for now, and why lying is so important. Tact is important. Politeness is important. Fibbing is important, and not to be shunned. So I've come here with palliatives and medications this morning because I'm about to depress you. Here's the hurting truth. We are each stamped with invisible ink, with an expiration date when we're born. We spend our lives in denial of our mortality. We lie to ourselves about our mortality every single day. We have to. So I've brought with me, now that I've announced that you're dying, beer. This is an option for you. Some kind of alcohol, the only kind I could find in my freezer. Ativan, Valium. Homeopathics of all kinds. Aconite for people who fear death. Arsenicum for people who fear illnesses that could cause death. Arnica, if you feel this information has hit you like a blunt force injury to your head. Homeopathic rescue remedy, 4 drops under the tongue. Very calming, lovely. And my favorite, chocolate, which clearly I have already dipped into this morning because I woke up realizing about the expiration date. I'm just going to take my own heartbeat now because I bet yours has increased. Oh, it's really pounding. And I bet yours is racing as well. So this is to remind you that you may have a visit to the ER eventually, maybe in 60 years, but you know, it is happening. You know, I learned about this very powerful message from Woody Allen, oddly enough, in one of his films. It could have been Manhattan, I'm not sure. It could have been Annie Hall. In one of those films, twice, he mentions the book, The Denial of Death, by Ernest Becker. And I know from being a writer myself that if you mention something twice in a piece, there's an important need for your audience to have heard you, because you're wasting a lot of time on the screen or on the page saying something twice. So when he mentioned this book twice, either to Mario Hemingway or Diane Keaton or whoever it was, I immediately went out and got the book many years ago, and it's a Pulitzer Prize winning book. And it's about our entire culture and our entire society being geared toward helping us forget that there's this giant, giant hourglass, always invisible, but yet sand rushing through every grain, ticking off another minute. So I'm going to look at my script now because this is such an unsettling topic, even for me, and it's my favorite topic that I need to organize myself. Okay, so we lie about the fact of this expiration date that we've been born stamped with every single time we postpone something until tomorrow. We lie about the expiration date every time it rains and we don't wear that leather jacket because we're saving it. This is the lie of the denial that we're dying every minute, including now. So plots into your despair chair or lie down on a sofa or the floor to absorb this reality. We have to lie to get through the day. We have to pretend that it's absolutely not possible for the world to come to an end a week from Thursday at 4:30, for example. Otherwise, we would drown in a tsunami of anxiety and be unable to breathe. And far be it from me, correspondent from your dark side, to cheer you up about this. Let the Hallmark people and the Disney people and the sappy birthday people do that. Nope. This is the dark side. And those of you on the bright side who are perpetually cheerful, wake up. You're either sleepwalking or, as in the silly joke, you're a golden retriever. So I've already shown you the palliatives and the medications and the distractions by chocolate, and certainly music is a good one as well. That I've brought you a whole shopping list of possibilities to help us all get through the day and deal with this reality. The fact that sand is rushing through the hourglass absolutely every second. In addition, we need to have good manners. Lying is a form of good manners, so that's another reason why lying needs to be defended. Manners are a form of nuanced lying. Did you ever think about that? If we don't speak with tact, we will be shunned. And I'm reminded of that wonderful documentary film with the penguins, the emperor penguins, who in order to live in the freezing cold, huddled together on ice floes. Imagine if one penguin turned to the one next to her and said, "Do I look fat in these feathers? Am I having a bad feather day? Or do I have bad breath from all the fish?" And the other penguin says, "Yes, all three, yes." Meanwhile, that penguin is going to be shunned and left all alone and freeze to death. So we have to feel like we're at least attractive enough to have the other penguins huddle with us, right? This is the whole idea of having community. So think about that when you think, oh, I have to be perfectly honest. You don't want to hurt people's feelings unnecessarily anyway. I love that quote from Oscar Wilde, who said, "A true gentleman is never unintentionally rude." So we need to give some thought. For example, very simple little tiny fibs are things like someone comes to your house as a guest and brings you this hideous little ceramic figurine of a shepherd girl. And naturally you say you love it, but as soon as they leave, you put it in a closet. Handy so that you can pull it out the next time you come, though, and display it for their benefit. It's just a way of being kind, really. Or you meet someone you went to high school with who lives miles away, and suddenly they unexpectedly appear in the parking lot of the supermarket you've just walked out of, and they say, "Oh my God, it's so great to see you. Let's catch up and have an iced coffee." And you say to yourself, "Oh my God, I've been up since 5 a.m. The whole day has been an arrow, so I could lie down and take a nap, and that's where I'm headed." Are you actually going to say to this individual, "I'd rather lie down and take a nap than hang out with you"? Absolutely not. You're not going to say that, unless you're Oscar Wilde, maybe. What you're going to say is, "Honey, I would love to have some hanging out time with you, but I have ice cream melting in the car, 3 pints I really have to go home. Let's just exchange numbers. So this is the fibbing that I recommend. People in relationships, I know, intimacy requires more than just good manners. This is what we're always told. The rigid barrier of manners is supposed to be broken through by the intimacy of relationships, but not when you hear what happened with Heather and Howard. No, the truth really hurt. So while sand is rushing through the hourglass, I'm continuing to inhale and exhale to get through these next few minutes. And I really like and appreciate so much having you with me during these few minutes on screen. It's good to have other penguins to huddle with. Thank you for tuning in. So stay alert for the next post, because the topic of truth hurting is central to the theme of Heather and Howard's honeymoon disaster. Thanks for tuning in.